All right, folks, it's that time of the week. We got Steve Merrill here from Wager Talk. That is your destination for Steve's information on college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA coming up soon. Steve is on a roll, so let's check out this week's college football selection. Steve, appreciate you being here as always. We've got the consensus number one team in college football, Georgia, 14.5-point favorite, taking on rival Auburn.
Yeah, we have seen a little bit of a early money on Auburn in this game. Opened as high as 16 earlier in the week. It's now down to 14.5 in most spots as I check the Wager Talk live odds screen. But I am starting to see a 14 pop at some locations. So I think if you like Auburn, you probably want to lock up that plus 14.5. If you like Georgia, maybe wait and see if you can get minus 14 when this game kicks off at 3:30 Eastern on Saturday. I like Auburn in this game for several reasons. First of all, I do a 10,000 game simulation in my database. The average margin of victory was only 8.5 for Georgia. So there's definitely some line value here with Auburn. And in some of the simulations, Auburn was actually winning the game outright and also had the yardage edge, despite being a 2-touchdown dog. So that's something that catches my eye. I do think they're a live dog in this game on Saturday afternoon. They've not been a very good point spread team, though, and that's one of the reasons this line is probably inflated. They're just 1-3 against the spread, despite being 3-1 straight up. The only cover is against UMass in week 1. They've actually gone 0-3 against the numbers since. Non-covering wins against Cal and Samford. And then, of course, the outright loss against Texas A&M last week. But Texas A&M, I think, is a solid team, a team that was vastly underperforming last year and has been a play-on team this season. Speaking of not covering the spreads and inflated lines, that's definitely been the case for Georgia. 4-0 straight up. But depending on your line of the Ball State game, 0-3-1 against the spread. The Ball State game landed right on 42. They have failed to cover the other 3 games, failed to cover by 16 against South Carolina, and they also failed to cover by 12 against UAB, so not even close recently. And I think, once again, this line is inflated because they are the best team in the nation. We'll take the value with Auburn, especially at plus 14.5 or more.
Steve, it's one of the big reasons why we have you here, because my conventional look at this game is, wow, how is Auburn going to score? They had a defensive touchdown against Texas A&M last week and only scoring 10 total points against the Aggies. But as you say, Georgia, despite the wins on the field, not a bettor's paradise here in 2023. You can join us, Steve, at wagertalk.com, Wager Talk TV right here on YouTube. And of course, the under the radar selection continues to roll. Steve is 16-1 against the spread in the exclusive that you can only get here at the Voice of College Football, either on Patreon. So join us there or with a YouTube membership. Steve, we appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Mark.